Dear friends, a very warm welcome to the next episode of the our holy journey, the seven churches and the footstep of Saint Paul. Here we're going to show you or talk about all the places in Greece where Saint Paul was preaching the word of God and the people embraced Christianity. This is the place on the way from Neapolis to Philippi, a small village where Lydia, the lady who embraced Christianity on St. Paul's teaching, one Sabbath day, St. Paul was teaching near the riverside and to the woman, and a woman called Lydia was touched by his teaching, and she received baptism on this very river, which is now you can see the river over here, and she received the baptism over here along with the entire her family members, and she was serving the Lord in this region. There is a church built now by the Greek Orthodox. The churches belong to the Greek Orthodox congregation, and the church is specialized only for the baptisms. It's very beautifully done, beautiful painting work, and the picture of Saint Paul as well as the picture of Lydia is placed both the side of the church, and the church name is Saint Lydia Church. And this church have a speciality. No other service will happen over here other than baptism. So many people from the different part of Greece come here to get their child baptized, and the peak season for the baptism is from September to till November. Even today there are two babies are getting baptized, and in the church you can see in the external side near the entrance area the old mosaic of AD 49, because that's the time this was built, and the early mosaic you can still see that in the entrance part. And inside the church you can see the altar as well as only the baptismal stone and the things which is related to the baptism. So this church is under the Greek Orthodox, and it's on the way very close to Philippi. So this region, I think we can call it as Philippi, the district of Macedonia. In the book of Acts of Apostles chapter 16, it's mentioned about Philippi and how the people of Philippi embraced Christianity on the preaching of Saint Paul, and also he was accompanied with the Silas. This was a very large city and a Roman colony, and this was the first Christian city in Europe in the first in the ADs 49s and 50s. Saint Paul was preaching the whole city, and he was put to prison also here. He was beaten by the people, because if you read, there was some fortune teller lady. She was talking about always annoying Peter, saying that he is the man of God, and he was got annoyed with her and told the spirit to get away from her, and that's how she lost her fortune telling ability, and then her honors discarded her, and they were against Paul and Silas, and they dragged him and put him into prison. So this place have constructed, there were 3 basilicas in the early time. The First basilica was constructed in the place where Paul was preaching, and the second basilica was the place where he was beat in the prison, and the third basilica was the place where he was beaten. And you can see the prison, it's still there, it's inside it's like a cave, and he was put in the prison, and they were praising in the night. The chains were broken and the doors were opened, and the jail guard was got frightened, and he was about to kill himself, believing that the prisoners are escaped. But Paul immediately said to him, "Don't harm yourself, we are here." And then he listened to Paul the word of God, and he and his family embraced the Christianity. So the first church in Philippi was the church of the jail guard, and his house has become the church in the initial time. And later period they constructed the massive basilicas where you can see the ruins now, and the pillars and the columns are there. And this is a very huge big city. And people embraced Christianity happily. And all the letters to Philippines also is written. Hi friends, welcome to the ancient ruins of the city of Philippi, which is the district of Macedonia, very near to Kavala in present Greece. We are standing right in the Greek stadium of the city of Philippi, which was constructed with marbles, but most of them are broken, and having the capacity of 7,000 people. And the construction of the Greek stadiums are a little different from the Roman style of construction, and very strong. Even after so many years, it still looks very good in shape. Acts of Apostles, chapter 16, verses 11 onwards is mentioned about the city of Philippi. The word as Acts 16:32 says, "Believe in God, you and your family will be saved." This very word of God was actually told to that Roman soldier who was the jail guard, who was listened to the word of God and seen the miracle and believed with the conviction. And he was a great instrument for Philippi, for others to embrace Christianity. Now the city actually have only the ruins and no habitation here, and the ruins of that big large city. It is a big large city. Welcome friends to the ancient city Corinth in Greece. This is close to Athens, almost 138 kilometers from Athens. It is a very big and huge city, have a good number of habitation. In the beginning of the ADs 39, 40s and all, where St. Paul was preaching the word of God. In the book of Acts, chapter 18, verses 1 to 20, is clearly mentioned about how St. Paul's ministry was happened in Corinth. He used to go to the synagogue every day and to get involved in the debates with the Jewish people over there, and he tried the best to convince them about Jesus Christ and the Christianity, and many got convinced and many become Christians, and many become received baptism. Rome have a problem for the Jewish community and they were asked to leave, and a Jewish man Aquilia and his wife Priscilla moved from Rome and came and lived in Corinth, and they were the missionaries, joined St. Paul and helped him in his ministry and the proclamation work. Also, Silas and Timothy were also helping and supporting St. Paul. Now we can see only the ruins of the ancient city. There's no habitation, and the ruins is well preserved by the archaeology department. We can see the ruins of the synagogue where the Apollo, where St. Paul used to stand and preach, and the temple and the marketplace, the houses where people were living, and there is a huge Greek stadium. It's a very big and huge stadium. So the cultural and art activities in the early century was very active, and people get involved in there, because every old ancient city, if you go, will see the stadiums there. Either it's in the Roman style or the Hellenistic style or the Greek stadiums. And mostly it is very big, at least 7 to 8, 10,000 people can accommodate. So the culture of the land is that they give lots of importance to the art and the cultural events. The letters to Corinthians 1 and 2 was clearly mentioned how the teaching of St. Paul and how he invited people to lead a discipleship life. Now we are in the city of Thessaloniki, which is part of Greece. It's a beautiful city, redone now completely, and it is a new city now, and people are living there. We cannot find any of the old ruins of the early century where St. Paul was going around and preaching. It's a very big and modern city, surrounded by the Aegean Sea. The big port is there, and the city looks beautiful. The city have a white tower and the statue of Alexander the Great. He was direction towards the east, where he was traveling towards the east to the Asian countries. And the city is, most of the populations are the Greek Orthodox. The Greek Orthodox Church is very prominent over here. And nice, beautiful, modern city. In the book of Acts of Apostles, chapter 17, describe about Paul's ministry in Thessaloniki. And the letters of St. Paul to the Thessalonians are also give a detailed idea about the life of people in that time, and Paul was giving them instructions how to live in faith and continue and firm in the faith. Very beautiful city and very lively, and very well maintained, beautiful city. Most of the ruins places are they preserved as with the ruins, but Thessaloniki we cannot find anything because the new city was built on top of it.